Let's do it.
Hello and welcome to Comm Majors.
All right, start over.
It wasn't me.
Sorry.
I didn't ruin it.
This is how you.
Yes. I've been
love
waiting
when
for this
Brian
moment
gets-
for 2 years.
I haven't seen Brian get serious pissed in a while, so I'm eating this up. All right, go.
This could be better than the hanging chads.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
clearly,
that's a good callback. That's a 20-year callback.
Wow.
Literally a 20-year
The
callback.
last time our content was this good was 20 years ago.
I was trying to watch General Hospital and they kept cutting in.
Miami-Dade and that stupid fucking hanging Chad.
The Brooks Brother Revolt. The Brooks Brother Revolt. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hello and welcome to Comm Majors. I'm Brian Costello.
I'm Jim DeSanto.
And I'm Wolf Blitzer. Yeah?
Oh, I would have.
I had his Desert Storm.
King.
I had it
on.
I had his Desert Storm trading card.
What?
I did too.
Yeah, they had remember the trading cards they had during
Yeah, I
the
didn't know
first
he
Gulf
had
War?
one.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have
Dude.
a scrapbook.
That's where
from
he
the first
came to
Gulf War.
prominence during the first
Yeah.
Gulf War.
I
He
have
was talking about those
Destruction
tomahawks
Reaper.
and the scuds.
I remember Bernard Shaw more.
I had his. Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it
but
his
not sure.
name that brought him into prominence? I feel like
I'm
that,
sure it was.
that name during the Gulf War is all you need.
Well, you're either that or you're some kind of dictator that gets killed.
Storm and Norman.
Yeah. That
All right, well, we have a
hotel blew
guest.
up.
There,
So-
we
We
have
have a guest.
somebody with us tonight. Throwback to college.
Yeah.
We like him still.
Well, yes, Katie, why don't you introduce
All right.
him?
We have political commentator and
that's-
yeah, you are, commenter and political commentator and captain of the high seas. I don't know.
Of Chico's bail bond softball team.
Ooh, that is,
Wow.
He was,
Talking about-
I believe he was the captain of the Chico's bail
Unofficial
bond.
captain.
Yes, he was also senior class president of the University of Scranton.
Oh, that's also
class
true.
Of
He has
2001.
been a president.
We should have brought him in for all the president's men because of all the rat fucking we did to get Pat elected to that position.
Can you say that?
He
That's-
just, he just
yeah, you
did
just
it.
did.
They said it in the movie.
He never
Yeah.
uses the beat button. He never uses it.
I always
Never uses
use
it.
it.
Should we
Never
say this
use
man's
it.
name? Say his name.
Patrick
R.
Morgan.
Junior.
Oh, judicious use of the beat button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just use first names going forward.
I've thought that. I've thought
This
that.
does sound like a congressional hearing when
This
you're
does
using
sound
the
like it could get
full-
you in trouble.
I didn't
with your
exhale.
Oh, Lord. So today we are
Earmuffs.
looking at a presidential comedy
Thank God.
that when produced in 1993 probably seemed outlandish, but now would be
Plausible.
welcomed.
Yeah.
Welcomed as we talk about Kevin Kline
Cathartic.
in Sigourney Weaver in Dave. But first, as always, we ask the most pressing question of every episode. What is everybody drinking
I'm
this
drinking
episode?
an old fashioned in my Mando glass. I've watched the first episode, all caught up. Very excited. Much better than the season one, as far as I can tell.
All right.
This
Is
the way.
that artisanal ice? Do you have like a spherical?
No, yeah,
Wow.
we have a couple
Oh.
spherical things. This one was not.
Man.
Yeah, Keenan gave me these Star Wars glasses and Death Star ices.
Yeah, we're
love it.
we're elevated around here now.
I'll
Patrick.
say.
We're not drinking the same stuff we were drinking 20 years ago.
You know, we
Look at
have
this.
seen each
this
other.
is like a
since-
crystal glass.
I know, you're
That's
acting
right.
as if you hadn't seen it. Well, I remember 20 years ago when I saw you last.
Last time we saw you,
Yeah.
we were drinking Natty Ice, warm out of a
Not sure.
solo cup.
Not sure.
I was.
A lot of
wasn't-
that was.
Not a lot of that was
I don't
true.
remember that actually.
Pat, what are you
but-
drinking?
What do
I
you
didn't say
have?
what I'm drinking.
Well,
Oh,
I was showing my crystal glass. This is
everyone knows you've been drinking.
Yeah.
this is the Belvedere. My husband made it for me tonight. We'll call it presidential Belvedere.
We might need to.
all right.
I
love
really
it. I
enjoy
love
the
it.
soft filter that you have happening. I feel very important tonight.
So, Pat, what do you have? I mean, for those who are listening and can't see it, Pat is apparently recording in a Magnolia Collection catalog.
Oh,
Wow.
Like
stage
straight
here. Look
out
at
of
that.
a Chip and Joe.
Is there
straight
some
out of a Chip and
giant
Joe?
some
house.
shiplap?
Yeah.
Maybe over
Is there a
there.
shiplap?
Is that
wall?
do you work
Is
for
that-
West End?
I see. Is
that
that a
Elm?
gold? Do you have
West
a gold faucet? Is that
I
a
love
gold
that.
sink?
It's solid gold.
It's
Is that
gilded, yeah.
Revere
Wow.
pewter? That looks like Benjamin Moore Revere pewter on the
Oh.
cabinets, perhaps.
It's
maybe?
all these things. It's all these things and more. I mean, it's actually just a Zoom background. No, this is the new this is the new house.
Dude,
it's actually
nobody
just
has
this
seen
part.
your new house. You could just be squatting in somebody else's house right now, and nobody
Yeah.
would know.
I would love it.
Okay, well then I gotta
Okay.
go on mute. So
Okay. What are you drinking?
So I am drinking is a little bit of a crossing worlds. I'm drinking Love Your Park, the pale ale,
Love it.
Dude,
brought to you by the good people at Mainstay Independent.
that's really cool.
It's not as hoppy as some other pale ales. It's quite good. And
How much did you have to pay them to make that for you?
Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that.
That is not
That
allowed.
looks like it has Patrick Morgan written all over it.
No, but it's good.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Pat is not Ben Kingsley.
It's a good beverage for the apocalypse. So, yeah.
I
Looks like
am
it.
drinking Pompeii
No one
Pale
cares.
Ale for the end of the world
That's very appropriate.
by Toppling Goliath Brewing Company, and it is delicious. And I myself actually
That's a
have
fucking
climbed
mouthful.
to the top of Mount
Wow.
Pompeii before.
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Toppling Goliath.
Toppling Goliath,
Which
is located in Iowa.
We should talk to them about that name.
Brian, I like playing the game of what is different behind you every week. And so today I can't help but noticing that in your Comm Majors Boston studio, there is a Mickey figurine from Fantasia. Can you please explain?
Well, that has been there for 4 or 5 episodes now.
No, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Nope.
In fact, it was probably when we did a Disney movie.
I miss
and
Gareth's
Have
crotch.
you seen it?
It is
I do miss
from
Gareth.
it is from a Happy Meal.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only
And
now
I
noticing, but he's adorable.
think Jack or Claire left him.
Good job. Good job, young commenters.
Yes.
Hell,
like
hell of
it.
a story. Hell of
All
a
right,
story.
sorry.
So there was a lot of ins and outs to this.
I thought it was new.
No. A lot of ins, a lot of outs.
I'm very observant.
Actually, the first episode might have been when Aaron was on, and you kind of blacked out during
I
that
don't
one,
remember
so I'm
any
not
of that
sure you remember
episode,
that. All right, fact check. So
high
we
bar.
did the amazing All the President's Men last week, and we all enjoyed it. We did, on my part, forget to mention that it had won 4 Oscars.
Oh, wow.
And pretty much for all the stuff we talked about. So as I was listening back to it, it was all the stuff we had. Jason Robards won Best Supporting Actor. We mentioned how great he was. It also won Oscars for Best Set Design, Best Sound, and Best Screenplay for William Goldman. So it was all stuff
deserved.
and it was stuff
It was
we talked
excellent.
about.
I do wonder who won Best Actor that year because Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman were
76.
incredible.
I'll look
All
it
right,
up.
all right.
Jim is
All
on
right.
it.
Jim will look it up. Also, just quickly, sadly, the original James Bond, one Mr. Sean Connery,
Oh, a toast.
a.k.a. the King in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves,
Toast
as
to
I so remember
Dr.
him.
Jones.
Cheers, Sean Connery. We will celebrate Sean Connery in our game of the week, though. So we will revisit Sean Connery later in the episode. But now
Excellent.
it is time for the rundown.
There's no music again. I'm just going to work it out. I'm going to work it
No,
out.
it's fine. It's fine. We'll have music in 1 second.
God,
This is Anderson Cooper with your run. Oh, hey.
That really comes in loud.
Does it really?
Yeah.
It's the same volume as you on our side.
Sounds fine to me.
No, it's
He has very
loud.
sensitive ears. He's sensitive. He's
They're
sensitive.
large. They're larger than anything. Yeah.
How's it smell?
President Mitchell. You good? You ready for this? No? No? Yes. Here we go.
I knew it.
I call shenanigans.
Beautiful.
American President Mitchell is a grade A asshole with a penchant for abusing power. When he has a stroke whilst boffing his young blonde assistant, his chief of staff and friend see an opportunity. Fill his shoes with a stunt doubling puppet and enjoy getting their power tripping jollies. This body double stand-in president is no dunce, though. President Dave may be just what the country needed in the Oval Office and what the First Lady needed in her bed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The year is 1993.
That's face.
Did we watch the same movie?
Yeah, can we
Don't you made the mistake that you clearly don't know, Pat. You don't listen to the rundown. We let Katie do it. It's a segment we assign to her each week. And then if you've ever noticed, I immediately recap what the film is actually about.
No,
I don't think it's needed. I don't think that's needed. I covered all of the important details.
You missed We're Walking. We're walking.
That does not go in the rundown, dude. The rundown is you take the whole thing and you smush it.
Condense it.
For the Hunt for October, you did not say caterpillar.
I forgot. No, it wasn't caterpillar. Is that the word I was supposed to?
Yeah. Well,
I thought there was another word I missed.
Central premise. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay. So it's 1993, coming off of films like Kindergarten Cop and Twins, famed
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman teams up.
Also Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes,
Jesus
which is where we
Christ.
get the Arnold thing with Gary Ross for. I'm just going to move past
That
this.
will come up.
For Dave, it's certainly a comedy.
That's a comedy.
But it's part comedy, part, I guess, political satire in some ways,
Sure.
part romantic comedy, part dramedy.
It's a dramedy.
It's
right out of the gate, I'll say it does everything okay. It doesn't do any of these things really well. It's not a great movie.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Do you know what this movie was?
It's a brainless,
before we get
fun movie.
This was a film that kind of just washes over you.
Yeah.
And watching it after the election, it doesn't challenge you really. It just kind of is. And sometimes movies are okay for that.
It plays right into some base desires. Like, what if some really horrible politicians were replaced with really kind-hearted folks that just happen to look exactly like them?
Yeah, it doesn't. We don't even begin to. I'm just going to jump right to the end because of how fucking weird the end of this movie is.
Yes,
when you really
please.
think about it. So the whole premise of this film is that the president has a heart attack, or a stroke, and is incapacitated and eventually ends up passing away a couple months after the stroke. But what they do in the meantime is replace him with a lookalike who has not very similar political views.
No.
No.
But he looks exactly like him.
Apparently down to his penis.
Down to his penis.
Which I found shocking.
Yeah. And
Did we
at the end of the movie,
that is her takeaway from the
at
film.
the end of the movie, he winds up with the first lady.
Yes.
Which puts it just a hair below, chances are, as creepiest fucking relationship ever on the film.
Wow.
I put it above.
I don't understand
Shape of
why
Water,
you consistently
but-
think the relationship at the end of the chances are was creepy.
The part where she
Which
gets into
relationship
bed
was
with
creepy?
the man that just had sex with her mom.
Oh no!
There's so many bad relationships and chances are.
Super creepy.
But yes, but
I
by
disagree
the end,
with
it
this.
has repaired the relationships.
My only concern with this at the end is how they're going to explain it to everybody.
No, my concern at the
Nobody
end of
seems
this
to
is
know who
that
these
like
people are.
it's
by the way.
so weird.
Here's what she's gonna have to say. I heard that this guy in this small town was running for city councilman.
Yeah.
And I thought I would volunteer. As the former first lady of the country, I just thought I'd get involved.
And
with
he
this.
looks exactly like my
just
dad.
so happens.
Well,
From
I know
the tip of his very
twin.
hair down to his penis, he looks like my husband.
Exactly the same.
As my dead husband.
I mean, he's bare ass naked in the shower, turns full frontal to her. She does the up and down, and she's like, Yep.
Yeah,
That's my husband.
Pat, if you missed that, that was not a joke they were trying to hide or not make you think about.
Now I got it.
Yeah, she saw all of him.
It's the number of full nudity references that Katie's making.
Lots of, you would think this was like a full frontal nudity.
Yeah,
Many parts.
That's what's been confusing to me.
They never showed it, but you could imagine it.
So I just wanted to get that relationship out of the way.
Were you imagining it?
Clearly.
That was
This movie would have been so much better.
Kevin Kline.
It would have been so much better
amazing.
if they didn't even
have a romantic element to it.
Yeah, it was so
it's
bad.
fun.
No.
I thought it was.
There is no romantic element until the end.
I didn't think there was a huge need for it. He could have worked with her without that.
Everybody wants the first lady who has been just used and abused and pushed to the side to have her happy ending. And what if her strikingly handsome husband, who was an asshole, had an alternate reality where he was a really great guy and she got to be with him? And then they get to do it again. I mean, so we would see the Dave 2.0 movie is him actually being the president, right? Like he goes.
Dave becomes the president
100%.
Independence Day.
Because Ben Kingsley went from selling shoes to being the vice president. And so Dave goes from running a temp agency to being the stand-in for the real American president to actually being the president.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
No one here or on the recording listened to anything you just said.
I don't really know what was going on.
Rude.
Hi.
Oh, I thought we were doing that kind of thing tonight. No,
we're not doing that kind of thing tonight.
Just to Patrick.
I'm sorry. No,
we're just doing it to Pat.
The thing where we don't listen to each other.
No,
you do sometimes do that. Oh, the making fun of each other, yes, but the not listening to each other.
This is every week.
Last week, I made an insightful comment, and then Brian just completely ignored it and moved on to another topic. That
That's
happened.
what you get for re-listening to the episode.
What was the thoughtful? Maybe I didn't think we could.
I made an observation that in All the President's Men, which was filmed in the 1980s, there is actually representation of women and people of color in positions beyond wives and security guards. And I said, see, it could be done in the 1980s. And yet 40 years have passed and we're still seeing filmmakers struggle with this notion of representation.
Yeah.
I don't think you actually said the second part of that.
I
think
didn't.
Maybe you said it in your mind.
I think that's where I was hoping the conversation would go, and then it just got, just shelved.
Speaking of which,
ignored.
You two are just having a conversation.
Ving Rhames is the best part of Dave.
Jim was really excited about Ving Rhames being in this movie.
He was so
right
good
before Pulp
wasn't
Fiction.
he?
So he's in this right before he's in Pulp Fiction, right? He looks 25 years younger than he did in Pulp Fiction, just based on the fact that they shave his hair, shave his head.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like a crazy transformation for him.
Yeah.
He was great. I
enjoyed him.
Yeah, he was very good.
I remembered him. It was interesting because I don't feel like this is a movie I saw a lot of times. I saw it in the theater and I remember liking it. But for whatever reason, in my memory, there was a lot more Ving Rhames and a lot more Ben Kingsley. And neither of them, maybe they're both fun in it and they play like good roles in it, but they're not in it a lot.
And this is what I did not like about this movie. There are so many more interesting characters than the four people we interact with throughout the movie.
Yeah, who's the fake Jason Alexander character? Who is he?
The communications director.
Yeah.
Heaven Dunn. He's
From
in like
Veep.
lots.
He's a wet blanket.
Yeah, and the Secretary of State or
Chief of Staff. Yeah,
Chief of Staff.
He's awful. Franklin. He's awful.
But he was also Skeletor.
Yeah,
he was Skeletor. That's true.
I wish he had worn that costume.
You get great characters like Ving Rhames, and I don't even know they even bothered to name the other guy. I forget his name. Who comes to help him
head of the class?
Yeah, helps him balance the budget.
Oh, Murray.
No, Murray. Charles, the amazing Charles Grodin.
He's the dad. He's the dad in Beethoven.
Yes. The dad. He's the host of the Charles Grodin Show on CNBC from 1995 to 1998.
But my point is, you have all these awesome moments with those people that you're hoping that he brings more into the fold to help do things, and it doesn't.
There are so many
nothing
people
really happens
in this
fucking
movie.
movie.
But again,
How about
because
Laura Linney and Bonnie Hunt are both in this movie?
Yes,
and
they
I
are.
confuse them for each other all the time, and they
Who
look
do you
very
confuse
similar.
who?
Bonnie Hunt and
Bonnie
Laura
Hunt?
Linney.
Yeah.
Do
it was
you
one of
think?
them.
Very
Do you
similar.
think Laura Linney's character is the same one from Love Actually, and that's why she had to flee to London? Discuss.
Oh, how about that?
Discuss.
Wow.
The scandal
interesting.
that drove
No, because she didn't answer the
Very
phone
interesting.
one time in this movie.
That's true. It kept ringing.
Sure, her brother did not exist in this movie.
I will say this is the worst political conspiracy
ever.
ever. Because everyone from the characters who you all just mentioned, Skeletor, Vin Raines,
Yep.
knows about it, to like the White House barber.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember, he's cutting his hair.
He's getting his new suits made.
To the
Yep.
people at Kinko's,
Yep.
when they had to print out
All of the cardboard cutouts.
of-
All those
Yes.
cardboard cutouts.
the kid working at Kinko's is
I mean, the people in DC are falling down on the job.
yes.
The fact that we've got that one guy on Larry King.
I'm concerned
got
because I have no
one
fucking
guy-
idea what the
you
cardboard
got
cutout
one-
thing is.
Really?
You got
In
when they're
the
one guy
Situation
on
Room
Larry
or whatever
King
that
was
place is?
Oliver
Yeah.
Stone.
Yeah.
Oliver
Yeah,
Stone
yeah.
was in
Oliver
there.
Stone.
As himself.
Yeah.
Investigating it as a conspiracy because
Which
of
I
his
loved. I thought that
JFK
was
situation.
brilliant.
Fantastic.
And
That was great.
That's
That was great.
the one thing that
Yeah.
Dave does well. A+ cameos.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got
The McLaughlin
the
group.
McLaughlin
Come on.
group, right? It's got Helen Thomas.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got Tip
It has
O'Neill.
legit. Yeah. I mean, there's so many
it's-
politicians
Arnold.
in this
Yeah.
movie.
Arnold was his
Arnold.
presidential fitness stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Ben Stein.
Ben Stein
As
was
Ben
in
Stein.
this. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speechwriter to Richard
How
Nixon.
about, can we talk about Sigourney Weaver's haircut?
Oh, but do you know why? Oh, wait, before you, can I just tell you why that
Alien
was that?
3.
Please.
She shaved
please.
her head for Alien 3.
All right,
And
that-
it
all right,
hadn't
all
grown
right.
back in time. That's,
Okay.
Time out.
that's why.
That feels
is
fair.
why it was like that, though.
A wig?
I will
Could we
say,
have given her a wig?
her best haircuts
Why not? Great point,
is
Katie.
she struggles with hair. So
She's got a
the
strong jaw.
first Alien
Strong jawline.
where her hair is longer, it's fine.
Yes. Hot.
And the third one where she has no hair,
Also fine.
is fine.
Yeah.
Anything in between, she
man.
looks so strange because she's like
such a muscular jaw.
she's like 9 feet tall, and she looks like a
very
Q-tip.
manly. She needed a wig. She needed a wig because I wanted to be into the love story between the two of them, but her hair was so distracting.
That was
And
the
listen,
block?
there
That
was a
the-
thing that happened in the 80s with like women being frumpized. Is that a verb? Frumpyized? With
Oh,
like
God.
the
This isn't going to
Wait,
turn
they
into
had-
like the
they had-
soft.
jeans
This
and
isn't
the-
going to turn into the softball thing.
They had
where you
frumpy
start
eyes?
No,
commenting
it
on
was just
people.
there was
their-
not
their
good fashion.
Their ocular region was
The
frumpy.
thing that happened for women in their
Frumpy eyes?
30s and 40s in the 80s was to like completely desexualize them and make them look like, I don't know, animatronic, like not sexual beings. And that's what you see in Sigourney Weaver in this First Lady. That's what you see.
This is the type of shit you learn on this show.
Yep.
Never that analysis. You're not going to get anywhere else.
You don't get this
You're gonna get
content
that anywhere
anywhere
else.
No one
else.
else is
Do you
talking
see-
about this
Look
fucking
at this.
movie.
I am validating.
That's
I am
true.
validating your points, Katie.
Thank you,
I'm
Brian.
validating
That just made my heart grow to the next size
Yeah.
because I felt that. I felt validated. Thank you.
I will say, I when I was rewatching it last night at like 3:13 in the morning.
No.
Right with MSNBC
on TNT because that's where you go.
That's where it was
the only
on.
place you can find it.
It was A Few Good Men and Dave, TNT, TBS, and the one scene right at the end, right, I thought was very fitting for the state of our democracy right now because he goes in, and I'm going to screw it up, so Brian will correct this. But, he's like, you should expect more from your president, right? There's certain things you ought to expect from your president, right? And he sees he's going to do like this American president style speech, and he dies.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Well
Okay.
played, sir.
But before that happened, before he had his
fake
fake
dies.
stroke, there were some poignant moments.
the employment, the full employment.
Yes. No, but I was going to say, like, watching a political leader, a leader of any kind, say, I messed up.
Yes.
I shouldn't have done that. I apologize to the American people. I mean, like, when have we ever seen this?
Yeah,
well,
you
to be
don't
fair,
see
he
it because
wasn't apologizing
yes.
for anything he did.
It
He should have said, "I'm sorry for impersonating a person and illegally running a government."
Doesn't matter.
I am sorry for
heartfelt
all
apology.
of this. He basically what he's saying is like, I'm sorry for all this shit, but if you fucking knew anything, I'd be in really deep shit.
Yeah,
That's true.
If you talk to the White House barber,
yeah,
let's
talk about Ben Kingsley, because from all
love Ben Kingsley.
All we get of him in this movie is that he's pretty much a perfect human being.
Yeah,
this character,
haberdasher.
Yes.
Yeah,
like Harry Truman.
The moment of him being sworn in at the end of the movie was a culminating moment for me of my political hopes for this country. The idea of Ben Kingsley being our president. I'm all in. I'm all in.
Again, much like Jim's desire to have Idris Elba as president, he is not an American.
No, we have to stop.
Dual citizenship.
Stop electing celebrities to the presidency.
If you're not born American,
Show me your
you cannot
birth
be
certificate.
president. It's the Constitution.
Damn it.
But speaking of Ben Kingsley's inauguration, in the Dave universe,
yes,
right, he technically, Brian knows where I'm going with this.
Diverse, as I like to call it.
Thank you, the Dave-verse. He technically becomes the 45th president of the United States because Mitchell is the 44th.
This is true.
So Dave is more topical than we really know.
That's why I picked this film.
I mean, it was a foretelling. Now, similar to the problem that I have with Chandra Rhimes, this film posits a scenario where if you have an asswipe of a president, there's something that you could do about it. That there's like a
Are we talking 25th Amendment? Are we going there?
I don't know. Something.
Wow.
I mean, Chandra Rhimes has like a whole underground. She's got a whole underground situation. Yeah. There is a whole like low key CIA operative situation where they're like, if there's a threat to the American democracy, like it'll get handled.
Well,
and I really expected that to happen 4 years ago.
To be fair, the people in this universe are so stupid. They allow a impersonator to be president for months, apparently months. I don't know if it's months.
Well, let's not pretend like it wasn't the same guy.
Yeah,
like,
he was the same person.
It's not like they hired someone to play both characters. They didn't hire two actors to play both characters.
It's Kevin.
He was actually identical.
Yeah. They should have done a Sun Always Rises soap dish. Twist where like it was actually his twin that was lost or something.
I love that. I love that idea. Brought
Sally Field in instead of Sigourney Weaver. Love you, Sigourney Weaver. Give us Sally Field though. As the first lady, and we have a kind of a right into the soap dish verse. Robert Downey Jr., who I've always wanted to see as a president, could have been the vice president.
Amazing.
Made into the president.
I have an important question.
You had me at soap dish.
Does our vice president, so to be a senator, congressperson, vice president, do you have to be born an American citizen?
Yes.
Really? To be a congressperson?
Not born.
No.
Well, you have to be a citizen. Yeah.
Right, but a citizen.
Sorry,
that doesn't mean American born.
No, to be vice president, you would need to be an American citizen.
No, you're two different things. You can be an American citizen and not have been born in the United States.
Yes, but
this is what I'm asking.
But you can't be president or vice president if you were not born an American citizen.
So to be vice president, to run for vice president, you have to have been born.
If you can't answer this question, we need to end the Zoom because I'm not sure why you're here.
No, because in order to be president of the United States, you need to be born an American citizen. You cannot be a naturalized citizen.
This came up with Ted Cruz.
I'm wondering if this is the loophole, though, because if you are VP, you are second in line. Can you be VP if you were not born an American citizen?
The loophole is based around Robert Downey Jr. becoming the vice president in this universe. So the loophole is thin, right? It's thin at best.
Mm-hmm. So we'll move on. Yeah. We'll move on.
No, we cannot go back to Shonda Rhimes for a second. Thank you, Aaron Powers.
Can we talk about what is perhaps the biggest travesty in this entire film? A man shredding raw carrot onto his deli sandwich.
Yeah, and then
What is that? Can somebody please explain to me?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any person shred raw carrot onto a I'm not talking about somebody who's maybe a vegetarian or a vegan or something like that, where I don't know that diet. This is a man who's clearly making some kind of delicious deli sandwich.
Yeah.
And he is shredding raw carrots onto it.
And then we are led to believe that this exact sandwich is then remade later in the movie.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver loves it. I'll just say, if you happen to reside below the Mason-Dixon line, don't fucking make a deli sandwich. Just leave that to everybody in the Northeast, and everyone else can, F off.
I'm gonna say Kevin Kline doesn't know how to actually make a sandwich.
Yeah,
because the script probably said Dave makes a sandwich, and Kevin Kline's like, I've never
made
my own sandwich
in my life.
I have people to make sandwiches for me.
I have people who do that because I'm Kevin Kline.
I'm pretty sure they take this thing and
and some prop person probably put a carrot and a zucchini.
Yeah.
And
it was disturbing to me.
Yeah, even Vin Rames looks at it and is like, "No,
Vin Rames like, absolutely not.
He breaks character." Yeah,
I always would think, and I thought, it would be fantastic to be president when I was younger. With this scene in mind, because you have this great White House kitchen, you can eat whatever you want, and then I found out that the president himself actually has to pay for all the groceries.
You got to pay for the food.
So it wouldn't be that exciting. I wouldn't be that excited.
But also, did you then find out that once you had your own home, you can do that anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a sandwich with carrot is not out of your grasp.
Yes. And then I wouldn't have to do that. I was concerned if I became president, it meant I would have to eat carrot on my sandwich. Yeah. And that was a no starter for me.
So we have carrot to thank for you not being our president.
Yeah, I know.
For saving the democracy.
There is not a high threshold currently.
I feel the electoral process though would have weeded that out.
Yeah,
it would have come up
I
in
think
the
it's on the application.
Brian.
It's like, do you like carrot on your sandwich? And then Brian has to check no. And they're like, you can't be president.
Sorry. Are you Canadian?
No.
We don't know.
I am not Canadian.
Are you a Mets fan? Number 3. You're out, buddy. Sorry.
That is allowed. So there was some actual historical basis for some of this film. Could I drop in some of the
I know where you're going.
I don't know if we're gonna,
that Gary Ross used. By the way, first of all, this screenplay was nominated for an Oscar.
Really?
Which I enjoy this movie. I don't see how it received an Oscar nomination. I'd have to go back. I will go back and look at the films of 1993 to see what else was nominated. Because I was
1993. No.
All right, don't worry about it. I was intrigued. But a few side notes on this. One is the whole idea of a politician having an affair with a secretary or worker, leading to a medical condition. This actually, in fact, happened to Nelson Rockefeller, former vice president for Gerald Ford. At the age of, I think, 70, he was involved in a relationship with his 22-year-old secretary and had a massive heart attack and proceeded to die. So they took that. Also, of course, president having a stroke and not being removed from office actually happened with Woodrow Wilson. He had a really debilitating stroke, and his wife basically acted as president in the last few months of his term.
She sure did.
And interestingly enough, this in 1993 was Bill Clinton's favorite film.
And his first term.
Which is really, and I do wonder, like, this movie is like cynical, but playful enough. I do wonder in the post like Clinton scandal era if something like this gets made. It's almost like you can kind of like joke about it and stuff. Like I feel like
I don't know
presidential
anymore.
Movies now don't really, they skew as much. People are much more jaded. Like they wouldn't see this type of thing as even funny. They would be like, this is just stupid.
Yeah, I don't think, and I don't know that it has to do with the Clinton situation. I think it's just
no, but I mean, just like since that time, like
I think modern politics shows that when you make light of, like Katie and I were sort of talking about this, like when you make light of the politics of the time, it just shows you how out of touch it was, right? Like there are people when this movie is being made struggling with all the same shit that people are struggling with right now, besides the pandemic. And, you know, when you look at it through that lens, this movie can seem really callous and just dumb. Yeah. Because you're taking like a very serious situation to a whole a whole piece of the population and saying like, oh, we don't really care if you don't find it funny. We're going to make fun of the situation where all these white people are in control and we're just shifting around white people because we can. And
and there's no consequences.
These white men are just in control of everything and it's really funny. And, you know, we're going to, you know, the bad guy's going to get it in the end, but, you know.
But not really.
But not really, because there's a new white guy to come along. Yeah. And so like, it's hard to do that kind of movie now, because I think our country's understanding of the political climate is a little more evolved. I don't know.
Yeah, what's interesting about even this type of movie is there's not a lot to take away from it. It's just kind of enjoyable.
Nothing to take away from it. The jokes are not even funny.
No, but I mean, but it's interesting. Like I was watching and I'm like, I didn't laugh a ton. I didn't take much, but I still kind of enjoyed. Like I enjoyed it. It's not bad. It's something that if it came on TV again in maybe a couple of years, I would watch it again. It's certainly not on my must watch again list, but it was just something that maybe it was these types of movies. Like it was okay. And sometimes I don't know. The odd thing about it is through like all the movies we've done, over 100 movies, I'm kind of torn on this because I was like, it's okay. I enjoyed myself and I enjoyed the experience watching it. But for the life of me, I'm not really sure if I could come up with 5 reasons somebody should watch this movie, which is kind of weird. Like, I feel like usually we can be like, oh, watch it for this, or whatever. This one's like, yeah, I would tell somebody to watch it, but I can't pin down, other than Kevin Kline, who I did really enjoy in this. I thought he was good, but I can't think of any, like, it's not great cinematography. It's not super funny. It's not something like Hell or High Water, which is going to stick with you in terms of the message about it and stuff. It's just, I mean, it's just an enjoyable movie that it was better than watching election.
No, but it's not even like comfort food, right? Like it's not even that. At least for me, it's not. I just think this movie is like white bread. You know, like if you haven't had it in a long time, it's kind of like, okay. But like, this is fucking boring. Yeah. It's not funny. The acting's great. I'll say that. But the script is stupid. I just don't like this movie. Like I watched it and I felt like I didn't hate the experience of watching it. But again, like there's not even much to talk. Like honestly, there's not much to talk about because it's also elementary and not interesting. What happens in this movie?
You know what? It's kind of like going to Subway. Like if you want a sub, and it's like
I already said the white bread thing, dude.
Yeah, I'm building.
He's connecting it.
I'm connecting it there.
He's building your sub.
I don't want Katie to claim I'm not validating.
I'll have extra shredded carrots, please.
Yes. Well, they might do that. But my point is, it's just like, yeah, it's okay. I haven't had this in ages. I'll get something from there. But it's, there's a million better things to watch. But it's also not awful.
I think Katie left.
Is she okay?
She went to get the dog, and now like the rest of the house is dark, and I don't know where she is.
Do we have a double for her? Could we just put somebody in there?
I don't know.
We go full circle.
Like, hello.
Who looks exactly like Katie? I mean, my thing is like, if you look at, I agree with all of Jim's points, and I guess I tried to kind of say like, hey, Katie, does this kind of connect to like American President, which I think was in like 95.
Right.
Yeah.
The first
American
series.
President is so much better, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
and it's like, you can't even do that, right? Because this, in addition to everything that Jim was saying, this just belittles, government, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you could be like,
anybody,
anyone can do that. The fact that Murray, the small town accountant, can come in budget and find $650 million is cute, right? But no. So yeah, it's white bread or a Subway or
this
whatever.
isn't like
to be
it has
fair.
that feeling of like Rookie of the Year or like any of those sports movies, like The Replacements, where like
don't say something bad about The
no.
Replacements.
What I'm saying is that like
Joe Falco.
Yeah, bringing in
Shane Falco.
Yeah, like
Jesus.
Shane Falco.
Jesus.
The idea of bringing in someone as like a fish out of water to, some of these scenarios, it's not as high stakes and doesn't really like who would that offend in the sports movies, right? Like, would it offend the folks who didn't quite make it to the No, like it's not the same as like it's like the folks who like government really affects on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
No, I'm sorry. I was amazed too by, again, I think the one thing this movie does well is the cameos to try to give that veneer, right?
Yeah.
Of like, but did y'all know what you were getting into? Like Tip O'Neill is the thing.
I know.
Well,
I think this is, but what's interesting? I think this is like Ivan Reitman, who was, at this time was huge. So obviously that draws people.
Yeah.
But I thought the casting thing, if you dig into the casting of this, to me, this movie, the only pieces of it that work is Kevin Kline. Like he's fun to watch, so you can get through. It's only like 95 minutes or whatever. But if he's not there, and the first two people that turned it down makes no sense. If I told you it was supposed to be Warren Beatty or Kevin Costner, like neither of those, like the only selling point to me was you were able to buy Kevin Kline. Like, okay, I'll watch it. It's Kevin Kline. Like he can he's enjoyable to watch a little bit. I just don't. I mean, I like Kevin Costner, but I don't know.
Field of Dreams style Kevin Costner working.
Yeah, but wouldn't it have to have a different vibe though? Like Field of Dreams is a more sincere vibe.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
And Costner's got the everyman kind of. You're going to be like, oh, okay, Warren Beatty. No, but Costner would be a stretch, but yeah.
It's interesting. Listen, you can find this if you want to watch it. It's on HBO Max, probably on TBS, or if you have any old VHS tapes from 1997 somewhere stored away, you can probably find a copy of Dave.
Go to your basement, get them out.
We're gonna, this is gonna drive the Amazon Prime algorithm, I'm sure. Everybody who listens to this is going to be like, we got to watch Dave. Why is it not on Prime? I'm sure it will be on Prime in no time at all.
Tens of people.
Literally tens of people will be going to purchase Dave and find that. All right. It is time for Game of the Week.
Which one do I hit here, Brian? We'll see if Katie gets back in time for this. I don't think she will.
Yeah.
She's still trying to get the dog in from outside. It literally happens every week.
All right. It's time for Game of the Week. This week's Game of the Week is guessing how long it will take Katie to get back from taking the dog outside. Pat, what's your estimate?
4 days.
4 days.
4 days. All right.
Yeah.
I predict that she will get the dog in before all the votes are counted in Nevada.
Oh, I got to refresh.
Okay, here is Game of the Week. Game of the Week this week is Keep Two, Cut Two. We're honoring the film legend, one Mr. Sean Connery, by talking about 4 of his best films, in my opinion. I have not included James Bond films because I don't really like James Bond movies that much, and I found 4 other films that I just thought were more interesting. All right, so here is our choice. You get to keep and watch 2 of these films, but you'd have to bail on the other 2. Oh, Katie's back. Katie, what's better? She's eating.
Does she have something to eat?
She went and got something to eat.
Did you slice carrots and put them on your sandwich?
I see.
And how do you feel about that?
I see you've replaced me with Chewy. Who puts carrots on a sandwich?
Dave did.
We had a whole discussion.
Remember the part where he's shredding the carrots and Ving Rhames was like, bro, what are you doing?
We had like a 30-minute discussion about inclusion of minority characters and women.
And carrots on sandwiches.
And then we talked about carrots on sandwiches.
Inclusion of carrots on sandwiches.
And then Jim Daved you with Chewy.
You assholes.
We replaced you. Jim apparently thought Chewy could be an exact replacement for you. Which we discussed.
Down to the
Right down to the penis. Okay, so keep 2, cut 2. Here are the 4, Sean. I don't know.
We'll never know.
In cosplay,
right?
maybe.
Chewy is male.
There are other of his species.
Are there female Wookiee?
Yes.
There are.
Of course, they exist.
They exist. Okay, here are the 4 films. You have The Rock, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Untouchables, and Hunt for Red October. Which 2 Sean Connery films do you keep? Which do you cut?
Too easy. Is
it 2 cut? Okay.
Well, it's easy for me. I keep Hunt for Red October and Last Crusade.
That's actually not easy for me now.
No, it's not easy for me either because I don't think that's the right answer.
I remember
Katie.
loving The Untouchables, though I have not seen it in years. So just for funsies, I'm going to keep The Rock and The Untouchables.
The Rock is the worst choice here.
Fucking answer.
I mean, why not? I'm just gonna put it out there.
All right.
Hunt for Red October.
What? You like the Hunt for Red October when we talked about it?
It's a fine movie.
How dare you, man?
It was way better than Dave.
Oh yeah. But Dave is more fun.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat, which do you want? I don't want to have our guests go last like we did to poor Chris Monero and he had no options. So
I'm doing. Oh wait, I can't do what other people.
No, you can do whatever you want. But we're just not going to make you go last.
Yeah.
So this is tough. Yeah, it's between. I got to keep The Untouchables because for me, the death scene in that is just like only Sean Connery can sell that. Right? It's comical. It's borderline.
That movie
comical.
is basically a comic book. It is not. As far as I remember.
When was the last time you see it? It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
It really is an amazing
I'm not watching it to get the history.
It sounds like we have to have Pat back to do The Untouchables.
Yeah, I remember it not being very good.
When was that? Like 1998?
Oh my God.
I remember you don't know what you're talking
1987.
about.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like Sean Connery is young in The Untouchables and he's like Costner 80 years old.
Kevin Costner, excuse me, is like 30, I think.
Yeah.
It's what made Kevin Costner a star, actually.
I'm into it.
And what's your other choice?
I remember watching it.
I gotta keep Indiana.
Yeah. Those are my 2. Sean Connery won the Oscar actually for The Untouchables. Yeah, and he's amazing in it. Do you know who I don't love in it?
De Niro. He's the worst.
De Niro. Yeah. He's hamming it up. He's not the worst, but it's not it's like very over the top. It's Brian De Palma. Yeah. There's some awesome stuff. Actually, Brian De Palma's top 2 people love Brian De Palma. The only 2 movies he's ever made that have made huge money were Mission Impossible and The Untouchables. When he did actual studio movies.
The love for De Niro is so absurd at this point.
Jim does not share it.
The guy has not done anything good.
He did Meet the Fockers, Jim. So good.
Let's save it. We'll book Pat for.
I'll come back to that.
I will watch The
too.
Untouchables. I'll write that down. We'll do Untouchables because I love that movie.
Right down to the.
When's your birthday? December?
December 3rd.
We'll have you back in January.
All right.
That takes a month off.
We're gonna skip your birthday.
Yeah.
Wow. Just jump right over it.
We're going to jump right over it.
All right.
We have other films to watch. So Indiana Jones, of course, and The Untouchables are mine. All right, it's time for 5 questions.
You want answers? You want answers? I want the truth! What makes a man, Mr. Lebowski?
What the fuck is the internet?
It's clear that Pat has never listened to this part of our
This long
podcast.
into the show.
He's never made it
I'll
here.
be honest.
Never.
No.
That was the first listen to that
Yeah.
What
little
It's
piece
great.
of
is the
music.
internet?
It's
Thanks.
great, though.
It's
Thanks for
5 questions, Brian.
They
Thanks
crafted
for
that.
dropping a thanks for
They
dropping
did
a review
nothing.
there.
I crafted that.
Jim crafted
I
that.
did.
Actually,
Review.
Brian
I
gave me
think
the
Brian.
quotes.
I was gonna say. I think Brian was involved.
Brian mined the
was
the
involved. I
quotes.
sat
Brian,
next to
I
him
like
and
pic-
told him what to do.
I like picturing Brian with a little axe.
I
a
came
miner
up
and
with
a little
every
mining hat
clip
with a little
from that
a little
bed.
flashlight on it. He was a little miner.
I gotta dip into the box. I gotta dip into
I got the
box
black
of
lung
wine.
pop.
I got to touch the black lung.
Is anyone still? Or does it? So you're just recording
I
this.
shouldn't use the high
technically-
proof.
This whole
Yeah, we record this and then we share it with other people.
Are you drinking wine
and
now?
we
I just had
expect
to
other
shift.
folks to subscribe to it.
and
They
Jim
haven't
doesn't-
so far.
Jim
never
edits
happens.
it. Never edits.
I just keep forgetting. Like this is. I'm just like we're just on a call.
yeah. you
This
think
is
yeah.
this is what you've been missing out on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what Jeffrey Toobin thought was going on too, and the next thing he's just fired. He didn't. He thought it was just a call. He
right.
didn't know what was going on. All right, here we go. 5 questions. Pat, question number 1: thumbs up or thumbs down? How do you feel about celebrity impersonators? Have you ever seen a real celebrity impersonator, and do you understand why people would hire them for events?
Listen, I gotta give thumbs up because we got to pay the rent. But I guess when you first said it, I was thinking of people impersonating political people.
But it could be either. I mean,
So I
it could be-
immediately went to the role that I think SNL has made.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Oh,
And
okay. I see
like
that.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
I
you
like
think
that.
of-
I
if
like
you-
that more, actually.
if you
Go
think
with that.
about Tina Fey, Sarah Palin, like that,
Right.
I mean, in addition to what Sarah Palin did, I think actually did, if I think it's McCarthy as Sean Spicer.
Daryl Hannah as what's his name was.
Well, Will
Uh,
Ferrell is Bush.
Will
Is
Ferrell.
my favorite.
He never
But
said
also
strategery in the debate. Yeah,
It's
that's
interesting
what-
because the 2 Bushes, I think, might be the best. Dana Carvey as
Oh, I love Dana Carvey.
first Bush.
One of my first memories,
And then Will Ferrell as George W.
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah, not gonna do it.
And those are two of the worst impressions.
I like Kate McKinnon as Hillary too.
Yeah, and Amy. What about Jim Carrey's Biden seems like it's Joe Biden doing an impersonation of Jim Carrey.
Doing
It's
Joe Biden.
Doing Joe Biden. But I
Alec Baldwin's
love,
Trump is better.
Yeah.
it's very good.
No,
It's
Trump. I
very
mean,
good.
Trump is like, it's like.
What about Daryl Hammond
just
doing
an offering.
Sean Connery
Daryl Hammond doing Sean
That's
Connery.
on
It's amazing.
Okay.
Celebrity Jeopardy?
Now,
Right.
in
Yes.
terms of like just people dressing up like folks and getting hired, do you think Elvis and Marilyn Monroe are still the 2 like most impersonated
Yeah,
celebrities?
absolutely.
Isn't that
Dude,
interesting? That's interesting.
Elvis, it was a couple of years ago. Elvis was still bringing in $100 million
crazy.
a year
Crazy.
Wow.
in licensing and things like
I
that.
like the idea of drag queen versions of celebrities. That's always fun for me.
Okay.
I
Right
like
down to the penis.
That's
And I've lost
going in a
count.
whole new
I've lost
direction right
count.
there.
Yeah.
I should have rephrased that question. All right, here we go. Question 2. Of course, the amazing Sigourney Weaver is in this film. Would you rather watch Alien or Ghostbusters?
Holy cow. So the choice is between Ripley and Dana Barrett /
Gozer. Gozer.
Zool, who is the gatekeeper of Gozer. I think
Not the keymaster, to be clear.
No, the Rick Moranis is the keymaster.
He's the keymaster.
Yeah.
Jim's not going to like this, but I think I'm going to go Dana Barrett.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be in a certain mood to watch Alien.
I haven't seen Ghostbusters in.
I
Yeah.
rewatched Ghostbusters on Halloween, and
Did
I can
you?
tell you right now, it holds up completely.
Can
It
we
was still
can we
as
add that
enjoyable.
to our 2021 list?
Yes.
because
Oh,
I
God.
haven't seen
Yeah.
that. I don't even know.
Katie wanted to show the kids, and I'm like, yeah.
I don't remember.
Let me tell you something. Absolutely not showing it to kids.
Yeah, I
Thank
didn't
you.
think so.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely on comm majors in 2021. Yes.
I'm not good at being a parent.
Yes.
Oh, we're
Pat,
not.
question-
None of us are.
Yeah.
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 Question 3, fill in the
Wow.
blank question. Who's the most overrated president in history?
Oh,
Overrated, not underrated. Who's the most overrated president
Right now,
in history?
it's a pretty easy
No,
answer.
overrated
Hard,
takes.
though, 'cause-
But we're not.
I think it's got to be like popular opinion, like not like the opinion of the party. But
Popular opinion.
Yes, I think it has to be historically people who are held up. A
like I'd
president
say,
who's
like
held up
John
with
Kennedy is
esteem.
held up as like a great president by most people, right? You can't like so.
Well, no, but
Right, it has to be out of the presidents that have like an overall strong opinion.
Here's what I'm going to say. It's spicy, right? It's for the 2 people who are still watching. It's spicy.
Okay, I love it.
Most overrated president.
I love that you think 2 people are still watching.
Yeah.
Oh, we
I
got
know,
My
six.
favorite part of
We
that.
got
That's
six.
Generous. Yeah, Aileen bailed hours ago.
Aileen doesn't
I think-
listen to
I
more
think
than
Aaron
3
Powers is
minutes
still
of
here.
that.
God bless you, Aaron Powers. I'm going to go Reagan.
Oh,
That is
Most
spicy.
overrated.
That is
Most
spicy.
over. Here's what I'll say. I'll challenge you. Name one thing. Name one accomplishment.
Reaganomics.
Again, that worked out.
I don't know what that means.
Star Wars.
The war against drugs.
I think that was more Nancy.
voodoo economics.
The war against drugs is an utter failure that incarcerated pretty much the entire.
Yeah, no, I'm just naming
young
things that I
African-American
associate
kid.
with Ronald Reagan. I have no idea.
And join us next week as we watch Sicario.
Oh,
I don't know what that is, Brian.
it's a great movie.
It's a great.
Oh, you would love it.
adding
It's Hell or High Water.
hold on. I'm adding it to the list.
Okay.
I'm just keep adding lists. We have so
Benicio.
many movies.
So you're
Sicario.
telling me that
the
generally,
list.
like folks who are actors that transition into leading the country, like that's not.
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
shouldn't.
usually go
we
well?
shouldn't. I don't. This is sorry. Editorialized. We shouldn't do that. Like The Rock should not be like. If The Rock wants to run for Congress or Senate,
Kanye.
sure.
What about singers?
No,
Kanye has conceded.
I won't
He
say
has
that.
conceded
I
his
would say
right.
that though. Yeah, you want to see them change their career and be involved in politics for a number of years prior to being president.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Bruce Springsteen ran for an office, I would be the first person to vote for him.
He won't run for
not
office.
Not
the presidency.
Not the presidency.
This is why you should read The Lost Soul of the American Presidency, the decline
Brian,
into demagoguery.
Are you
I'm
an
gonna do this.
unofficial
I'm gonna
book
do it
rep?
again.
Are you a
I'm
book
gonna do it
rep for this?
I'm going to
Yeah.
Stephen F. not fucking read that book.
It wasn't funny the first
Brian
time.
just made 12
It's
cents.
less funny
It's
the
making
second
Brian
time.
laugh again.
Yeah.
I think it
But
works
that's
for
a
me.
cheap laugh.
It works
That
for
is
me
cheap.
every time. All right. Favorite question. Of course, who doesn't love Aaron Sorkin unless he's writing a Broadway play?
I've never seen The West Wing.
Never seen The West Wing on this side.
Are you
I've also never seen The American President, which somebody was talking to me today
Katie,
about. I've never seen The American President, and
I
that
don't
is
know
also
either.
Aaron Sorkin.
Now I am adding The American President.
And I
to
think
the
we got to
22.
Never seen it. Wait, and
we
is
gotta do
that
some West. We got to do some West Wing.
is it
episodes.
Douglas? Is that Michael Douglas and Annette Bening?
Yes.
I do love some Annette, but I love
Oh
both
my
of
God!
them.
Yeah.
You need to start
And
watching.
Martin Sheen.
Listen,
There's a-
Jim was
there's a
responsible for
chance-
my movie education.
So-
There are
But there is
clearly
a
still
chance
some
that-
gaps.
There is legitimately a chance that The West Wing might become one of your favorite TV shows of all
I
time.
know.
if you
I
watch
really
it.
hate Aaron Sorkin right
Season
now.
1.
The
Season
West
1.
Wing. The problem with The
Hurdle.
West Wing was when it came out. It came out when I was in college, and I didn't watch. The only show that I tried to keep up with while I was in college was Scrubs.
And The X Files.
Not really. Oh, the X Files. I guess I did.
But if Brian hadn't been there to
No, I
help you
would
to
not
watch
ha-
it, you wouldn't have kept up with
That's
it.
true.
I have
Katie,
them all
I am
on
shocked
DVDs.
of
Yeah.
all the shows that we would watch together that we didn't. I mean,
Never
we
did The
didn't
West
have
Wing?
too many. Probably
We never
you
did
should
it.
watch it. It's available. Pat, I know, like myself, loves The West Wing.
God.
Pat, who is your favorite West Wing character?
So we'll just talk now, Brian. Like it'll just be you and I.
wanted to have a
Allison Janney
whole
is a big
Breakout room.
character, right?
I do love
Yeah,
Allison
just-
Janney.
This is our
Katie,
breakout room.
My thing
Just-
for you is homework. You need to watch a West Wing episode.
One
the
episode. First episode.
or the next episode.
We'll tell you which ones to watch.
Oh, that
Let her
would be very
watch it.
helpful.
Watch the pilot, though. I think
Because
she should watch the
156
pilot.
episodes
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
a commitment right now.
We don't
Yeah.
have to watch all of it because at
No.
some point it kind of like every series.
When
but
they
watch
kidnapped the
pilot.
president's daughter,
So,
that's
like,
where I was like,
season one? Like if I do like season one of The West
Watch
Wing?
season one,
Strong?
it's brilliant.
Okay.
and 2, and then come back for 7.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
I think I can handle that.
Okay.
But here's what I would say. Again, we'll take this to another room, Brian. But
Yes.
I'm going to go, and there's a Dave connection here. I think someone will check me, but I'm going to go
Dave
Dr.
Dave
Matthews.
Dave the
Wow.
president.
Ants
Pres-
marching?
President
No.
Dave.
Falcone.
No one has said Dave Matthews since 2004.
Ants marching.
I'm going to say Dr. McNally.
Oh,
Dr.
Okay.
McNally, who is also her name. The actress is Anna DeVere.
who was in Dave?
Smith.
Yes,
Who was in Dave.
Wow.
And who was in the American
Bringing
President.
it
Was in the
all
American President,
around.
Yeah.
Now
Love it.
listen, friends.
But here's why I like her. Sorry, Katie.
No, tell us.
I'm
Tell
gonna-
us.
I'm gonna-
This
I'm
is
gonna
more
walk
important.
in. Here's why I like her, right? And Brian will appreciate this because Sorkin he pairs, like he pairs people up.
yes.
So she is essentially Bartlett's conscience against
Not
President
Jay
Bartlett?
Bartlett.
Jeez,
President.
How do you guys do this?
Pears.
Like, how do you?
You said pears and Bartlett. Like Bartlett pears.
I'm still picturing Kevin Kline in the shower. I still haven't like.
He hasn't got that image out of
Me
his head.
too.
Yeah,
not
Me
got that
too. It took her a long time to do the body scan.
Do you like
It took her a
Bartlett
long
pears? They're-
time.
Yeah.
I prefer the D'Anjou.
By the way, can I just add as a side note? I vacation in Bartlett, New Hampshire, Pat. I vacation in Bartlett, New Hampshire.
And it all comes full
It all
circle.
comes full circle.
They all comes full circle.
Finish the sentence.
And you got to take Jay Bartlett with you.
Yes.
All right.
Bartlett,
Talk to
New
us about the
Hampshire.
pears
What
again.
about
I don't
Bartlett?
even know. I don't even know anymore. It was like an actual.
Did you get the pears at the
Wait.
farmer's market?
at 9:36 at night as I'm drinking wine? In a
We
glass
usually
that I
don't
had
start
beer
till
in.
9:46, so this is
There is
amazing
an
for
important
us.
thing happening, and we actually do people news because you know that people
Breaking
are watching
news.
Facebook
Hit
for
breaking news.
the
Sounder.
election coverage.
Wow. What do we got?
They are basically
Wait till the music ends. Yeah, you can't talk over the music.
at a dead heat in Georgia now.
49.4%.
They're
Both candidates.
within 2,000 votes.
It's 1902.
Hit the breaking news. We have more breaking news.
Wow.
It is 9:37, and Aaron Powers is apparently still up.
Yeah.
On a
There is
Thursday.
more breaking news.
More breaking news.
When you cast Kevin Kline as two characters, they have the same penis.
They do.
They
And
do. It's
apparently
amazing.
it's pretty large.
Yes. And finally, our fifth question, deep thoughts question. Pat, if you breaking news.
I got confused.
Oh God.
Yes.
I lost count. I
Question
thought
time.
Here we go. There it is.
you knew that he was going to do that.
Here we go. No, he does it every week.
That one was accidental.
Okay, no more. No more.
Deep thoughts question.
Throw it a box.
If you could take over my job on this show so I don't have to do this every week, would you do it?
Absolutely not. I would
What
impose a no
else are
drinking
you
rule.
doing? Nothing. Nothing happens after
No.
8:30.
Yeah.
Kids go to sleep. We're just sitting
I would've
around.
taken a
I
bullet
wish
for
we
you.
could start this show at 8:30.
I wish my kids went to sleep at 8:30.
Well, Pat, this has been amazing. We've added probably 5 months worth of movies for next year's seasons. So we'll have you back. We've learned that Katie somehow didn't watch The West Wing, and
Never saw
I will text her constantly to watch an episode before next week, and she won't. But we'll
I'll be
still bring
sending
it up
you
in fact
memes
check.
No.
that
Maybe
you
I will.
don't
Maybe I will.
understand.
We'll do a lot of
We have to
memes,
finish
a lot
Lovecraft
of West
Country.
Wings. Okay.
Oh,
We gotta
I'll
finish
talk about that.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
like
we'll
to
do
have
that.
a bonus
Love
episode, please.
Love
Bonus episodes coming. I'm sure we'll be in coronavirus lockdown again soon, so we can go back to our multiple bonus episodes. Next week,
Is Jim asleep?
Jim is maybe alive, may
Weekend
not
at
be alive. We
Bernie's.
don't know. Weekend at, wait, I'm adding another film to the list for next year.
Oh,
Weekend at
very nice.
Bernie's.
I feel like Barrio would be great for Weekend at Bernie's.
No, I'm not watching
Why?
that fucking movie.
You will watch Weekend at Bernie's, and
You
you
made
will
him watch
like it.
Dave. You made him watch Dave.
Oh, please. Dave was a good movie.
He enjoyed
Next week, our friend and movie connoisseur, Jimmy Costanzo, is returning.
Jim's Costanzos.
To discuss a film of such
Great renown.
importance.
Great renown.
It is a documentary.
It's
A little film called Air Force One with
God. Another awful film with good people in it.
yeah.
What
Love Air
happened
Force
in
One.
the mid to early 90s?
We used that speech to
Everyone was
teach
focused on music.
high school students.
Which one? Which speech?
The presidential
Am I
speech in
playing?
Air Force
Hold on.
One.
I will not negotiate with terrorists. One.
Oh, God.
You chose not to use real speeches, but use. Hold on. Wait, I'm just gonna. I don't even want to broach this topic.
No, let's
Save
move on.
this for next week's episode.
A fictitious
All
country.
right.
Yes. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you for being here, Pat. Goodbye.
Love you guys. Bye bye.
No, don't actually leave.
Oh, Jesus.